All right, so we have Lazybear and Pofke. Lazybear went with Sky in the Eye, and Pofke went with Party in a Box. And then let's see, the banning, Lazybear chose to ban Pub. Okay, so that's that one. And then, of course, Pofke just has to ban. Wait, did I get this right? No, wait. No, wait, never mind. I did get it wrong. Camera control is what Pofke chose. That makes more sense because then they can, of course, have to ban Redwoods. All right, there we go. All right, and that is that. All right. Once again, we will not see any Redwoods.
Lame.
Anyway, well, let me actually get these replays set up here.
Likewise.
And then we've got the order is right. Looks like we got High Rise first.
Yeah, I
And I
see
see-
Lazybear on Duke.
I see that as well. All right, let's.
Give me a good 30
yes.
seconds here.
I need a couple seconds to get this set up as well. All right, I am ready. Turn off these overlays here. Boom. All right. All right. OP or Noob can be the new counter downer.
I can count. I can
All
count
right,
down
go
this.
for
That's no problem. So we're looking at high rise.
Yep, and I see a Duke.
Perfect. Okay. In that case, well, welcome, Pronope here. Replacing Warning Track. We got high rise. We got Lazy Bear, and let's do it in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
High Rise once again. One of the most common venues we've seen, like just throughout the entire tournament. Seems to be in every match almost, but it's not quite the case. It's very comfortable for a lot of people. It doesn't get banned.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily comfortable for people. It's just comparing it to Redwoods. Makes it more comfortable.
I
Lazy Bear
suppose
hasn't done
so.
anything at this time.
And just to note that Purloin is on and Fingerprint is off.
That is definitely a good note to make. Lazybear choosing his mission setup. Like I mentioned, Pwned has been doing the same thing. So Pwned, can you explain the logic behind that purloin?
So Purloin on this map is really nice for a couple of reasons. One is just doing a Purloin causes the sniper to want to shoot. The other reason is just having multiple hardtails makes the end of the game a lot easier. Like what we saw with my
In
set,
red.
I didn't really have any recourse beyond bugging because middle statues is such a rough out, and fingerprint makes it you can't do fingerprint in a rush. You need to plan out your fingerprints and use time. Having Purloin makes it so you can just press a button and you're done with the mission.
All right. We do get a contact from Lazybear. Very, very nice contact. Only one low light and everyone in for a presumptive reel from the sniper side of things. So Lazybear looking pretty good. Also has that that one green flirt. If we can get another green flirt, a center statue visit might not be out of the woods here, but our ST is just kind of chilling at windows. We paths from window to window just now, and now we're gonna path to another window. Like, come on, ST. You can't really walk over there next to them because they will have left by the time you get there. But we just spend so much time over there, and actually pick us up a low light. So
Yeah, the one thing the Lazy Bear can do here is if Ambassador goes anywhere to the right side of the party, they're likely to path behind us. Doesn't actually occur. Lazy Bear needs to go get the flirt on, and we're flirting through Seek if we're going to get this 49% that we need.
yeah, unfortunately we don't hit that. It would have been close enough for a full 51% if we hit the green test, but that is not the case. Lazybear cannot finish that, and because of the timing, it's a bit far-fetched at this point to go in for center statues. So this is where that Purloin steps in. As you mentioned, the end of the game can be made a little bit more unobtrusive as far as who's actually completing. But we still need that one last flirt. We'll see if Lazybear does in fact go for this Purloin here in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an idea to just go do the statues, but instead we're going with the Purloin. It's white, but Toby's facing away from the sniper. Doesn't matter. I'm not sure there was much of a reject chain.
Yeah, no rejection at all. In fact, the taker before us was our ST, who was the low light from just being over that windows that whole time, and we just get shot.
Yeah, good stuff by Pofke. Made pretty simple there by the Purloin.
Yeah, both these players very, very good. I think Pofke barely even had a tiny bit of sliver of the fade, but was still able to take a shot based on that. And I guess general suspicion about the character did not want to lose to the 10-second countdown during that. So very nicely controlled by Pofke, takes the correct shot, and now he's on to high rise as pearls.
And we'll get started in three, two, one, playing it. Pearl's really good on this map. Her and Orange Dress gain a lot of value when the map is small, because otherwise they're fantastic characters.
Otherwise, being slow than being slow.
Yeah, they have good bugs, both walking and standing. You have a lot of control over the character because they're slower. And I have hiccups.
This is a
Poppy doing what you don't see that often on high rise, but when you do, it's very powerful. The middle statue early, where one cycling, and it's an interesting little meta thing. You can now go to another statue. He's doing it immediately though. That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
See, the question is, we're kind of zoomed in as Lazybear here onto this ambassador, onto this bug. I think, you do have to look over to to those right statues at the very right, just to make sure you know who's got those inspects. Looks like we are doing the zoom outs, so Lazybear should know, but I have definitely fallen into the trap where I don't actually realize someone's completed the inspects because I missed them over at those right statues, as weird as that seems. Just because the main party is so much into this area right here.
Yeah, the classic play was you go to that bookcase and then you sneak the book back in, go get an inspector or swap, and then run away. We got our 68%. It's gonna be one more flirt, which we could timer flirt, and then the banana bread, and then it's just, are you willing to shoot? I think the problem here is Pearls is so easy to see through the grating because she's highlit and wearing the white dress.
Yeah, it looks like there's a high chance that we don't get away with just contacting and flirting here. That would be really difficult for Pocky to do. I think Lazy Bear would be on point enough to shoot that. However, there is a chance that Lazy Bear is not willing to take that shot for whatever reason, and that is the kind of game plan that we're hoping for here. There's just a lot going on.
Pofke requesting the drink after the ambassador takes just so he can reject it. He's trying to do something that's a bit more AI-like.
Ooh, we move. This is a perfect contact right now. All characters are in conversation. So the fact that we move. Oh, but the double agent leaves. So we just moved from one conversation to another. That is a very spy-like move in this scenario where the contact is perfect because that that tells the sniper that you were in the wrong conversation. The real double agent was actually in the other conversation. So that movement from conversation to conversation, if Lazy Bear is on top of interpreting what that means, that's really really big because it and especially since the contact never actually came off, it's just even more suspicion after we moved because the contact never came off because the double agent left. Like that contact never coming off is absolutely huge. I want to see if Lazy Bear can catch on to this and shoot Poppy for it. But we're still looking at a held shot. There's been no contact.
We've had a couple pass by the ambassador, but they've both been wide. Twin is not helping his case. We're now having to sell out for the bug while we're requesting a drink. The requesting drink doesn't do anything. There's no purloin to achieve. Looks like we're chasing Smallman, but Smallman needs to go in the conversation. He does. It's
Banana
going to be
bread.
a overtime banana bread. Banana bread comes off. Twin gets the low light. No overtime shot lined up yet. It's going to need to be us. It's going to be on Alice, and that's a win for Pofke.
Yeah, that was really interesting. The fact that Alice ended up being that overtime shot. I don't think she had full inspects, so it would have had to be a bug assumption. And in fact, look at when this contact comes off. Alice had just started a sip animation. That kind of action priority, like executing that action as a spy, would be really really difficult to do. So there's just a lot of evidence that Alice is not actually the spy here. So I'm really surprised that Lazy Bear is though it takes the shot onto her because you have to click the button to take a sip, but then you have to go do the action test of the contact and then hit a green test. That's just a lot of things to do in a very short amount of time in that early animation in the sip. So really surprising Lazy Bear took that shot, but Pofke's up 2-0.
I don't think Pofke wins this game if he white tests that banana bread either. Really good to be in the clutch, get the green banana bread. We're on to balcony, which I haven't seen this whole tournament.
Balcony is great. Everyone should love balcony.
And Lazy Bear's back on pearls in three, two, one, playing it.
I
Bup,
would
bup,
say
bup.
back on pearls, but it was actually
I know.
on pearls last time. We get a highlight for that first talk, which actually is not something I'm a big fan of. First talk is usually obligated, but in a conversation this full, the odds of a first talker's ST being next to them is pretty high, so I'm okay with it in this scenario. First talking normally is usually just obligated and not likely to have your ST next to you. But in this case, Lazybear does pick up the highlight, but we also pick up a green flirt.
Yeah, there's an option here. You can always try and steal a talk here when it's known that you can't be flirting at this point. Otherwise, we're probably going to wait the 45 seconds and really hope that we hit the green. 3 greens are so good.
And the end of red.
That's 2 greens.
There's 2 greens.
Uno mas.
We hit it! Oh my goodness.
And we do the talk and walk away, so that's actually kind of hidden. This is one of the nastiest games of balcony, and we get the neutral light. We deserve the neutral light.
We get a neutral light right as the spy accomplishes their missions. Lazybear just hitting the green tests, absolutely dominating that game of balcony. Very nicely done. Pofke now has to fire back with presumably green tests of his own.
Yeah, he had zero point 0.3 seconds of talking animation before he left the conversation, which, if it wasn't a green test, hiding that flirt might have been valuable. It doesn't matter if you're just going to hit 3 greens, though. And we're on to Pofke's rocker on balcony in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Where are we going? We're
We're
going to go to this
going
window.
to a place no person could ever flirt from, so pretty innocent as far as these things go. Um, Ooh, we
Come on,
passed to the
General.
other window,
Ah,
and General comes to us. Very nicely done by Puff. He saw the path where that was going and preempted it to make sure General followed them, and he didn't follow General. We hit a green test as well, which means 51% without ever looking like we're floating. That is absolutely huge for Puffy.
yeah, it's really hard to lose a game if we hit more greens. The issue is if it does come down to being a 3 flirt, or I think a 4 flirt would be atrocious, but uh, we might
And the end of red.
be in trouble. Another green here. This is going to be hard to lose for Pofke. I think there's incentive to walk away and then come back for flirt, but I'm pretty sure you're just meant to flirt here, get to a reasonable percent, and then finish up the game at the end.
That is 3 green now, but we're not quite done. Mostly for the fact that we didn't we didn't stand next to our ST this time, or they didn't stand next to us this time, rather. But our ST does walk away, which means it's going to reset our cooldown a lot quicker than we would have got it otherwise. So even though we are now a highlight for that only one talk, by the way, that was our first talk the entire game, and we're now a highlight. Um, one of two, in fact. But our flirtation cooldown expires just now. It looks like we're going to wait on the flirt just a little bit. And here it goes. Ignored the test. We're not even going to bother. We're trying to hit that green.
Woo!
Oh,
Safety
safety
off.
comes off!
We're good to go though. Surely.
Oh,
We are.
Lazybear does not take the shot. He was tempted with that last talk. The timing was just very spy-like in the last 20 seconds-ish. Did not, but did not manage to take it. Even though, like even safety offing on Pofke there, that was his second talk. That was his second talk. How do you safety off on that? But Lazybear just almost does it, but not quite. Pofke's up 3-1.
I mean, if you assume that Rocker did get the flirt earlier, or more likely is flirting with Orange Dress and not General, that would be 251s with Orange Dress, for example.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, 2 3 green games from balcony, 3 green and 1 ignore in Poppy's case. But now we're on to veranda, a kind of a whiplash here, smallest venue to largest.
And we'll get started in 3, 2, 1, playing it. We got Mom. Let's go.
We got teal. Let's go.
No. No.
Yeah.
I, I don't understand why you have so much problem with a character who clearly looks like your mother.
I will send you a picture of my mother later, Pwned. Because he
I've
looks
seen
nothing
what
like
you look
this.
like. If you don't look like a spitting image of mom, but younger and male, I don't know what you're on about. Small man net bookcase. We doing nothing. We got 51%. Damon Lowlit. Okay.
Oh, Damon got low lit? Damn.
Yeah,
I
all
thought
right.
he was going to be the spy. Anyways,
Lazybear taking this slowly. The bug's being watched here, but it would have been more twin than us. Ambassador's just making a bunch of reverse drive-by situations. Pofke's renowned for catching bugs, mainly because he watches it a ton.
you walk away from that flirt immediately.
He's done that twice now. He did that on balcony. It's a bit uh less likely to get caught on
Ooh,
veranda where
green
there's just
test
so much to watch.
fingerprint on this bookshelf here.
Oh, Lolo. And that's why you walk away from the flirt immediately.
So we've got some decent progress going on here for Lazybear. That one fingerprint that may not be credited. We'll see if oh, this bouncing, this bouncing. Oh, we don't even take the bug. Oh my goodness, we don't take that bug. I'm not. Yeah, I'm. You can't imagine that. I mean, I don't know. Pofke very well could have seen a bug that happened during all that bouncing, but I feel like your odds of winning just go up too much to not take that bug, and Lazybear doesn't do it. And so now we may even be credited with the bug that we didn't do in the
Well,
worst case
he
scenario.
wasn't thinking about the bug. He was thinking about the bounces and trying to get the low light from Pofke, who is willing to give having low lights, at least to AI.
Yeah, we're gonna go into statues here. A little bit early considering that we have no other progress on the venue. Although Pofke is not one to just rote highlight for statue visits, so we won't pick up that big glowing white border yet, I don't think.
I do like the inspect in that it's far away from the ambassador and Toby. The ambassador's moved over, and we did two cycle. I think we actually had a chance to be forgotten about, not unseen, but if we just one cycle, we could have done the two cycles in the future.
Yeah, that kind of getting under the radar with your inspects is actually something that's very underrated. People don't think about, maybe you can get that done without really being noticed, without being noted, because like you have to stand on that pad for so long to get
DB
inspects, right? We
Purloin.
do take a contact.
Are we doing the purloin? We're not even doing the purloin. We must have another plan. If there's another fingerprintable statue somewhere on the map, we have the finishing of fingerprint, inspect, and swap. But I don't know what it is, and Lazy Bear would have to be the better spy to know what it is. Looks like he thinks it's maybe this statue. We'll find out if there's a fingerprint here. It's fingerprintable, but it's difficult. We fail the
Oh, it's
fingerprint, and
red. We failed it.
we're being watched
That's
so
tragic.
hard.
That is absolutely tragic. How that happened just now.
Yeah, we can't swap this. He's literally watching us through the window. It's like one of those horror movies. You're like, I'm already inside the house, and you're like, no, I can't swap. Can't do anything.
Like,
There's no
what do you
fingerprint
do
here.
here? There's a
We
fingerprint here, though. I think.
go back to another statue. This one does have a clean fingerprint. Are we swapping in front of his face? The other option is going to be someone like Bug. Everything else is kind of prohibitive at this point. We might be able to get in and do a purloin, but I think the Bug's got to be the plan. We're walking at the ambassador, but oh no. Oh no. Helicopter Bug. Helicopter shot. Yeah, it all fell apart there. Lazy Bear correctly not swapping in the sniper's face when he's watching you through the window, but really put it into a time crunch and having to take one of the worst bugs I've ever seen, honestly.
I've seen worse. I'll be
I
honest.
mean, I
But
have
but
too,
but
but
but given where the sniper's attention was bound to be, that was probably about as obvious as you can get. Unfortunately for Lazy Bear, and now Pofke's up 4-1. It's a scoreline that we don't really expect out of this match. Although Lazy Bear is still on the sniper side of veranda, so it could make it 4-2.
yeah,
These are
301s can be a bit more volatile. We expect the snipers to prevail on these larger maps, and we'll see if Lazy Bear can bring it back here a bit as sniper against Wheels Pofke in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And balcony. We've had smaller maps, and it's one of the ways that the tournaments just worked is that because the maps are done in the order that they are listed, and they're
Pop,
listed
what are we
generally from
doing?
smaller to higher.
Just making
We're
ourselves.
flirting with Kane. He's
We're,
a lovely man who's also probably got a disabled parking spot.
the ST baits us a little bit there. Looks like he might have been coming into a conversation for a moment there, but does not, in fact.
It's 4:30 on Veranda, right? Or is it
Yes.
4:15 these days? 4:30. Well, we're a good minute in, and I think we can get a flirt here, but even the flirt's kind of risky because you're, yeah. Or General just takes the spot. That's fine too. We can take Ambassador's spot and get a flirt. We're already having wheels problems. 44% though. We'll take it.
Yeah, we are pretty slow on the progress right now, unfortunately for Pofke. I have not been able to find our ST. Our SP's just been bouncing around, but not actually doing missions. Track likes to say that, if your ST's bouncing around and you can't flirt with them, they might be a suspect, but in this case, Taff has just been around the party a lot without really doing much.
This would actually be a really good wheels bug. You just using the conversation as cover and his relatively short stature.
Speaking of using the conversation as cover, we are basically invisible to the sniper right now, except for when, Lazybear's all the way over here.
I
Ooh,
can't imagine we're
we're
doing like
gonna.
a quick swapper here. Yeah, we are. Okay.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
it's
we
weird
cheese
to,
that swap put down.
it's weird to do the cheese
Lazybear,
swap there next to your seduction target though, and not get the flirt when you're there. But
here comes low
here
lights.
come here come low lights.
Oh, and we're one of
Oh
them.
no! It worked. There's just nobody left either. Like it's just a couple of characters on.
Yeah, Pofke could very well know he's a low light too if he thinks this play is definitely designed to either get an AI shot immediately or to get you a low light. Both of those things are really really big for you. So Pofke I think knows he's probably a low light at this point. There's in fact only one non low light in this party, except for the ambassador who just got brought up to a highlight to I guess watch better compared to low lights.
The problem with only having one highlight and nobody else left is that anything that you do might get you brought back up to a neutral. This blue book is going to be pretty innocent in nature. We might roll out with it though. Here we go. I think we could have bugged there, honestly.
It's a bit risky for sure. So I think that Pofke is smart and not just not dealing with it. We did take the blue book all the way over to the other side of the venue, so you got to imagine that we're about to do a microfilm into the bookcase here. That is likely the plan. Here it goes. He's gonna just go in there and slam
Jeez.
it. Lots of cheese in this
Not even
game.
into immediate talk flirt.
Looks like Lazybear is willing to bring up previously low lit
Oh, the purloin's
characters.
how we
Looks like
lose. The purloin's how we
Irish. We
lose.
take a fake contact.
Oh, we
We
green it though.
reject. We green it,
Pofke's gonna
but
win multiple games off his ability to hit green tests. This purloin is a lot harder to get shot for with.
ooh, the fate is seen. I think the fate is seen, but do we get shot? Does Lazy Bear know who just rejected that? He's confused. I don't think he does. Oh, the camera shaking frustration right as the game ends. Popke taking a just vicious spy win against Lazy Bear here.
Yeah, the red test timeouts at the end are also rude. The the reality is Lazy Bear is better at bringing up low lights and shooting them than almost anybody. Uh, in part because he has the experience because he ends up low lighting the spy a fair amount. Just Pofke hitting the green purloin there instead of the white, saving him from having a way to lose a game that he really had in the bag with the low light.
Yeah, that means we're at 5-1, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1. Jeez, yeah, and going into this match, I think everyone expected this to be really, really close, and it still could be. But Pofke's only one away from guaranteeing missions equals points as an overtime, so that's really, really big. And this is a sniper on Courtyard, one of the more sniper favorite venues in the game. Although you will say otherwise, I'm sure.
Mm.
So Pofke very well could lock up, something here.
It's only spy bias because of time ad. But if you don't time ad, then what's the point? We got 315, Pofke sniping, Lazy Bear as twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, and this is 407 Courtyard, something we haven't seen yet through this tournament. Previously in the group stage, it was 3 of 5 courtyard. Just made another 3 of 5 venue. But now we are back to it, the classic 4 of 7, which means we've got the classic conundrum. You do your inspects, your seduce, and your contact. What's your last mission? That is always the question of every courtyard game. What is the mission that you're going to do other than that? We pick up a highlight for going to statues. It is completely normal on courtyard. Pretty much everybody does it. It's just so much easier to work with because almost no one completes without inspects.
Yeah, the beginning of the game we did end up red testing Rocker away, so getting a flirt here at statues is important to just keep our mission progress moving forward. This conversation looks like a good time to do the banana bread. If we want to, we could set up something like the banana bread covering bug. We don't want to. It looks like we're prioritizing flirt over the possibility of the banana bread. I'm not sure I agree with it. Every single person's in conversation currently.
We get that second flirt white test for 62%. We'll need a green test pretty close up to finish in the next flirt. Otherwise, it's going to be a 4 flirt game.
Banana bread.
But the double agent is not in our conversation, and we don't have an SDA in our conversation. We actually split from a fake contact, and then we get a fake low light, fake and everything. Both of our players right now.
Yeah, the laser was on the other side of the map, so Pofke could have just not acknowledged the fact that we were in the conversation at all. But we were already in the conversation. It's not like we came into the conversation, did a banana bread, and left like I did on Library, where you're very much known. Okay, he was walking by the conversation. He wasn't in the conversation. Surely.
Yeah, and the fact that we split from a fake contact means that the sniper is just that much more tempted to reward us
Banana bread.
with being a low light, right? Oh, here we do it again, but this time it's actually a real split. But Lazybear walks over, and we're still not, we're still not a low light. We're still a highlight, and we're still looking for that last mission in the last 45 seconds. We get the green test flirt, which is very big. That means we can spend the rest of our time here on this earth, on this courtyard, to trying to figure out what's our last mission.
We're moving around a lot and breaking a couple of animations. This is our third inspect, and maybe the idea is that the swap won't be caught because you've already been to so many statues. We're white testing it. The rotate hasn't happened yet, but when
It's
it
not
does, we're in
there.
trouble.
Yeah, it's immediately seen, immediately shot for. We kind of got close on the mission win countdown, but relative to how fast that shot came off, we would have needed an ages longer, uh, to get away from that without being shot. So Lazy Bear down 6-1 right now. Absolutely brutal. No one expected this, I think. Lazy Bear is a very, very skilled player. Poppy as well is very, very skilled. And, they kind of seemed evenly matched going into this. A lot of people were very unsure about who they wanted to predict, but Poppy has clearly been very prepared, very, very on point today.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think the late green tests have helped him out tremendously, but that's a credit to him. That's not luck, that's being clutch. We're going to see some Pofke Disney here on Courtyard, and this is a game winner. If you can pull this off, it's a 7-1 Brazil. So let's do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The classic Brazil reference. Uh, no one ever wants to be Brazil, so we'll see if Lazy Bear can pull it together on Courtyard here. Spy Biased Courtyard, apparently. Now that the timeout has come off, the first time we've seen this entire cast, it's a green test immediately in the time of chaos. We're playing, we're doing the turnout.
I do want to note, by the way, I know I'm renowned for time ads. I watched Dowsy's stream, and he was just constantly going, "Is that a time ad? Is that a time ad?" And I'm like, "Yep, this is a good thing I didn't add time." That was a nice little stop. It doesn't make much sense if you really analyze it, but Twin went into the conversation and Puffy stopped, and it's the sort of thing that they're clearly playing against each other for the low light.
Banana bread.
Yeah, I've given Lazy Bear a low light for nearly the exact same thing in Time of Chaos before, over in the Veranda tournament, and he was so happy I credited him with that. But this time, Pofke does not get the credit from Lazy Bear. Uh, Instead, we only have 2:53 on the clock, and contact done and some to-deuce on the way. I'm not sure if we're in range for this standing bug if we want it. We might.
are.
I think, yeah, it looks like we are, just barely. We are in that golden zone where we're not pushing the ambassador away from us, but we're also not, you know, we're also in range for that standing bug if we want to take it at some point. And that's a very dangerous range to be in. Twin does ruin it by stepping in close enough to the ambassador to push him away, so we'll have to take that bug now if we want it, but Lazybear is definitely looking for it, given, you know, just the angle, and it's one of the few things that you really need to watch at all times on Courtyard.
Yeah, with Courtyard, even behavioral players can become quite campy because it's just about the tell. It does result in people being a bit ruder with their flirts than they probably should be because they know that you're camping, but so be it. Pofke's gonna go to statues here for the inspect. This is after someone. Someone was just here, so Lazy Bear is forced to watch for the swap.
He stops watching after the first cycle, which makes a lot of sense. Green swaps can only happen during the first cycle. Well, we take a green swap, and that's really, really big. I think a white swap also would have had us win, perhaps. But we'll see if Lazybear is able to check on us. We're going around to the other side of the venue to try to bait Lazybear into watching the swap over here, while Oprah on the other side is going to be taking that green swap. Here it comes, put down. Lazybear sees the swap. Can he take the shot onto Pofke? He's around the other side, but no, he chopped onto Oprah. And that's the set. Pofke manages to make it happen with a green swap on Courtyard.
Yeah, just a classic courtyard swap win where you need to be doing something to protect your swap if it's doing it while the sniper's on the other side or hitting the green test and distracting. At least protecting the fade here, and then somehow being the less suspicious between Red Dress and Disney. That's a 7-1 victory. Not expected. You don't see two elite players going a blowout like this without usually being able to credit it to something like, oh, they're tilting, they had a bad day. But I don't even think that's necessarily the case. I don't think Lazy Bear was playing poorly. I think Pofke was just on fire.
Yeah, for sure.
And also a special note that Puff Guy was hiding in the hiding on the other side of statues, just leaning up, standing up straight up against the column there, just trying to be as invisible as possible, I guess.
Oh, I actually didn't notice that. That's very funny.
Yeah.
He did not want to be the shot as the laser
Yes.
came around, but very nicely, very, very clever little play by Pofke just to increase his odds that much more.
Yeah.
And I think we can see why Pofke was the victor today. He's
Yep.
just so prepared, so on fire.
Also, he
And
hit
now
a lot of green tests.
he did hit a lot of green tests. That was very important.